Alright, what's good? Just gonna hopefully do a uh, somewhat quick. Probably be like 45 minutes to an hour. Who knows? Maybe more, but hopefully not that much longer. VOD review of our scrim yesterday. So yeah, let's get started. That was my lovely wife, if any of you heard.
Key, dive.
Alright, so as usual, what we normally, well, not normally, but what we've been kind of theming on lately is looking at our comp, looking at their comp, and figuring out what we should do or what that should show us how we should play these maps, right? And Phantom, you being a previous support player, should know that we don't know their comp yet until 15 seconds. So why in the world would you isolate yourself completely against from your team with no way of retreat, no way of getting back to your team against a comp you have no idea what they're running yet? So, I like the ambition, but it's suicidal. So, and you get punished for it here. They happen to be running dive, and yeah, there's no way you survive, right? Remember, you this happened because you didn't analyze our comp. Who in this comp is going to help you against dive? Literally nobody. You have no supports that can reach you across the bridge, and asking Diva to come help you against a Winston, Genji, Diva, Widow, pocketed by an Ana is pretty selfish to ask, right? So you should have just played safer until we knew what their comp was. Then you can play aggressive if they have a comp that allows you to play that kind of aggressive. So yeah, just think of it next time and look at your comp and realize I have no healers that can actually help me if I get in trouble, nor can anyone actually peel for me if I get in trouble. Not against a full dive team. If it was just a solo dive, then sure, Diva could like come help, but Diva does right in not helping you here because she would also die. Looking for my notes. Okay. Alright. So looking at what they have dive. We don't, in game we don't know it yet, but here in replay we know it. So they have dive. When we do realize it in 12 more seconds, what they have, how should that tell us we need to play? We are a ground-based comp with limited but AOE healing. Um, with a sniper that can contest high ground with our Diva and on occasion Lucio. So we do have some high ground control, but they are dive, so they have whatever high ground they decide they want to control because they're running dive and we aren't. So we can play a couple ways. We could play like you know the valid way is we see that on point A you get jumped on a lot as Hanzo because yeah they realize there's no one to peel for you, so they realize their win condition is just kill the Hanzo because he's alone, and you played in areas where you were alone and were in no way going to be able to be peeled for by your team. So but you could have played as bait, right? You could have played in areas that looked like you were alone and they dive you, you run to your team. Now they just wasted the movement cooldowns trying to get to you, and maybe our team can do something about that. So that's one way to play, or two, just straight up just play safer with your team and force them to remember on Route 66 the one that we did the scrim that we did Friday, right? They played a death ball and you know, we had trouble breaking that death ball because it looked scary and there was no obvious dive target. Same thing here. They don't really want to jump into a Reaper. That's not something that they want to do. And even a Hanzo. Monkey doesn't want to see a Hanzo in his face who has Storm Arrow, right? So Reaper and Hanzo can burst the tank down pretty quick. So they have to, you know, that if we play the death ball, they have to play a certain way to break, you know, to break the death ball, just like we talked about in the last VOD. So those are the two ways that we could have played.
They're coming out right side, right side.
Oh, that monkey dive.
You're right, Dave.
Ah,
They got a widow.
Monkey diving.
Monkey,
go,
monkey.
go.
Alright, so Monkey dives in. We do right, focusing either Monkey or Genji because it is a weak dive. How soon was Widow called?
Monkey dive.
You're right, Dave.
So we see the first shot from Widow here. So we know where she's at.
Ah,
They got a widow.
Monkey dive.
Yeah, and see volatile.
Monkey.
We know Widow's shooting there. She just shot. She just shot there, and then we back up into her. There's no reason for you to actually lead. Like it's just Monkey. It's just Monkey and Genji. There's really no threat here of you dying, especially if you still have your orb. There's no threat of you dying. You out heal the Monkey Taser, and then you have Diva. You're surrounded by Lucio with heals, Reinhardt, and Diva. There's legit no threat to you, so we shouldn't have backed up.
Go,
Keep
go.
open line of sight into the Widow, so we get punished here. And so, so yeah, realizing that Widow, you know, we talk about map control. Dive is the ultimate form of map control, and Widow is the ultimate character in map control. Any line of sight she owns, that she can see, she owns, and that's why we hide. So yeah, what, you know, you could think, well, was playing here a bad idea? I would say playing near Globe was a bad idea, right? Uh, this is display capture, so I should be able to draw. So I think y'all can see the drawing. Yeah, it looks like it. Cool. Yeah. Nope. You. Cool. Alright. So we played here, right? So as Reinhardt, it is your job to figure out how to, you know, think about where is our anchor, right? Where are we taking these fights from? And then you also have to think about where are we retreating, right? I had said you know, we could hold this high ground up top and then retreats, right? So we can do that, but we'll think about what you're asking the team to do here, and this is what gets our Moira killed. She feels like she needs to run. She doesn't, but still, this whole situation could have been avoided if we didn't hold. So we held here. This is the space that we held. Where's your rotation going to be? Your rotation is either going to be down here, which is fine if, you know, the opportunity presents itself, or back this way, which is even safer. Which then that's the general. The second one is the general rotation. So is it easier to hold up here or hold this way? This way. So there's something called playing for your supports. Whenever you're setting up, you want to think about, do my supports have a safe line of sight to me and to the battle? You know, it's like when we talk about dive, we talk about, you know, staging areas, and the idea of staging really doesn't ever go away. You're starting the fights. You know, if you start the fight here, your supports can just chill right here, and they're safe from everything, right? The enemy has a hard time getting to your supports here. They would have to come up through this doorway, and then hopefully that's scouted, right? They shouldn't come up here without us knowing, right? That'd be kind of silly. So, and then we can react based on that. But yeah, so we should have just held here. We could have just held here and our supports can just sit back here, right? And then this whole widow nonsense is not, it just doesn't exist because your shield is in the way, and all she has to shoot is your shield, and she can't even see your supports. So your supports are safe to begin with. So holding down here, it gives no benefit, right? You have no line of, you can't. The bad thing about holding down here is when you want to make your rotation back here, you have to cross this whole area, right? This whole open space. So what if your shield breaks during this time, right? Widow Howl and Riddle now has a firing range. She can just pick and choose whoever she wants to heal while you guys are while you guys are rotating, right? So think of it as you always have to think about your second rotation. When this point of defense fails, where are we moving to? So that has to be on your mind as Reinhardt. And you know, you had the thought of holding here, which is cool. But holding here would have given you the same LOS, right? You want to hold here so you can shoot down main. Well, holding here would have given you basically the same LOS and cover for your supports. So always thinking about holding near walls. That's just a general rule. Wherever you want to set up, make sure there's a wall that your team, especially your supporters, can hide behind. And then kind of a basic principle, and we weren't thinking about it before, but I get why you're holding here. Like maybe your Hanzo can get some shots, but our Hanzo was here, right? So again, we didn't really talk about what we're going to do or think about what we should be doing. So we had the general thought, hold here, get line of sight on spawn, but we did it in a way where we weren't like our thoughts were different. Hanzo was thinking I could hold bridge, and then you were thinking get shots from here towards spawn, but besides Hanzo, there's literally no one on this team that can actually shoot towards spawn. So holding here was kind of, it didn't serve a purpose in a sense. If you wanted to hold here, your Hanzo should have been behind your shield. Right? So that's where that went wrong. And now another thing. So remember we talked about the phases of fights. We are current in the video that no one watched. Um, we talked about the phases of a fight. We are currently in the scouting phase. Well, now we're in the fighting phase. But when like um Widow, well, we talked about how Widow excels in the scouting phase, right? Because she's the only one that can get a pick. Her and Hans are the two people that can get picks in the scouting phase. No one should be dying in the scouting phase, preferably. That's why we could set up here and just scout and have her heal her safe. The dive initiates it and turns it into a somewhat combat phase, right? Their whole dive team is elsewhere on card. Lucio's doing his thing here, and we just have really a 3v2 right now, which is fine for us. But right, so we still die pretty early in the fight. So we still die in like the scouting phase slash transitioning to combat phase. If we die this early in the fight, and look at where card is, realize we just started the map, someone died, just leave. We don't fight this. No way. In what world do we fight this, right? We just leave, and we can get a recontest by the time card gets to around here. So if you're thinking about if you get early picks and fights, just leave. You know. Now there's a second element to that. If you're going for like bomb EMP, and maybe we're playing Reaper and our Reaper gets picked, our win condition is still alive, bomb EMP, so we can still fight that. But right now we have no win condition. We're like our win condition is to just win the neutral, just win the fight, and like
What up?
via outplaying. What's up, dude? How you doing?
Yeah, just got off of work.
Oh, how's it going? How was work?
Went by really fast.
That's awesome. That's always great to hear.
Yeah. I woke up at 6:30. By the time I looked at my freaking uh, My watch, it was already like 4:30. I was like, shit, I leave in 30 minutes.
Dang, dude. Heck yeah, it's a great feeling. Yeah. So yeah, I was just I can stream now then. I was
All right.
just yeah, I just started like 15 minutes ago. But still talking about the first fight. Um, haven't really. Well, I mean, we've talked about some things.
Okay.
Um, we can like quickly recap it though. It's not a big deal. So you had started the fight.
There comes, there comes.
So you had started the fight on bridge
Yes.
or in this place. But think about our comp, right? The thing we should always be thinking about is what can our comp do, and everyone needs to be asking the personal question of can this comp like what did this comp enable me to do and what doesn't it enable me to do. Um, so with this comp, we don't know their comp yet, but with our comp, are there any telltale signs that we shouldn't be playing here?
Well, I mean, I can get health from the orb from Mora, but other than that, I pretty much don't have health. Um, at that point, I didn't expect them to go out the right door and run dives, so that was my fault. I thought they were gonna come out main, but as far as that, health is gonna be a real issue for me.
Yeah, yeah. I would be I would not advise Volatile to ever throw an orb just for you. That would be a huge waste of resources. Um, if she has to throw an orb for you, you have misplayed horribly. Um,
Okay.
our comp is a stick close together type comp, and then so yeah, so that's one. But then also, you as a former support player should know that how many seconds need to pass before we realize our comp.
15.
So why put yourself in such a dangerous and greedy position before 15 seconds?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So if there is no one on this comp that can come help you if you're ganked by two people right now, there's legit nobody. Diva should not come help you because if she comes to help you, then she's going to die too. You know. There's no reason for anyone to come help you with where you are right now. It's too exposed. It's too risky, and it's right in front of their spawn. So
Yeah.
yeah, just everyone just needs to think about what is our comp supposed to do and how does it influence our playstyle. And naturally, when we're playing Moira, we're kind of limited to playing close quarters, and that's why just kind of Ana is just superior. Ana's just better, like all around. But Moira's not a bad pick still. Like Moira's still good, but Ana's just superior, unfortunately. Moira's a cool character, but Ana's is awesome. But even if we had Ana, like she's not going to save you from Winston, Diva, Genji, Widow, who are all pocketed by their own Ana. So we should have played a lot safer until we knew what their comp was, and
Yeah, like
then
top left.
yeah, like there's no need. Like a pig right now isn't going to benefit anybody. They're just going to respawn and come back out. So it's
Yeah.
cool to just play safe because we had already said before that we were rotating to the left anyway. We're just sitting up here to poke and just to see what they have. So we're already rotating to the left at some point, and we had said that before the match started. So just again thinking and realizing our comp and what is our strength and weaknesses, and our comp does not heal long range. We can't do it.
Okay. They're coming out
I'm gonna turn off my push to talk, my voice. Cool.
right side. Right side.
Oh, that monkey dive.
Doing Dave.
Ah.
You got a widow.
And then I had also explained how it was. So one, we know where Widow's at, or at least we know that she has line of sight to us. And so Volatile gets picked real quick because she gets startled by the dive. I mean, like, fair enough, but I think she still had her orb, and she also has Fade, so she's not really in any danger. But then she backs right up into Widow, and so that's one. That's uh that part's on Volatile, right? Knowing that, or not realizing that she didn't have to move. But then she shouldn't have had to make that decision in the first place because um, our tank put us in a bad spot just starting out shielding here when he could have just been shielding here. So our supports have a place to sit and to be safe and happy. So yeah, that's where I'd gotten in a quick nutshell.
Monkey diving.
Monkey,
Kill
monkey.
kill monkey. Monkey.
Oh, and then also, I had said so we had died. We had two people die pretty early in the fighting phases. So this is so there are the stages of a fight. The scouting, the staging, and the combat. We had Hanzo die in the scouting, and then they engaged, and then it's like a half combat phase. And this is kind of what dive does. So they threw us into a combat phase, and then we had lost Moira, and it's still really early in the map, so we could have just left at this point, just speed out and leave is what we could have done, and then we could have just regrouped. But instead we stay and fight this, and which staggers us out even more.
Yeah.
So just realizing, that's why eventually, really wanted Volatile to get on counting, because if we had said 2 downs, and I had said before, a soft rule, if we're down 2, it's not winnable, so just leave. And we are down 2 with no ults, just leave at that point. Either jump off the map or leave. So there was no reason to stay and fight this at all. So
yeah,
just
I've been trying to help her out with that a little bit too.
yeah, it's good. I mean, everyone it's a simple thing that everyone needs to learn, that everyone needs to do. So, but I know everyone has their thing to learn, and as far as comms, she doesn't really have a role just yet. Like, I mean, that is a legitimate role, and that's where she's going to start. Everyone else seems to have something right now, but that's where she can. And then there's something else. I can't remember though. But yeah, that should be her first one, and that's so yeah, that's like that can fall on her shoulders first. But everyone needs to learn how to do that, because it's just it's not that difficult to like really do. It can be difficult to remember to do it, but once you get in the habit, it's kind of like watching anime and reading the subtitles. You just kind of do it, and you don't even realize you're doing it after a while because you get so used to it.
Yeah.
Monkey love.
You have
Monkey
no
love.
heals.
Monkey dead.
Genji,
Genji.
I can help you someone sleep.
Get
Monkeys
Diva.
have. I mean, divas have. I mean, oh my god, I kept talking. Genjis have.
I need heals.
Diva, Diva, Mag.
Divas have Vex.
So, and kind of a reoccurring theme, and I don't know if it's like, I know Volatile talks soft, but I can still hear her, and I heard her say, "Your healer's dead," and plus, and then that's the thing. Obviously Laverne was looking at the kill feed. Moira got sniped. He should know that he doesn't have a healer, right? So, kind of odd asking for heals when your healer's dead. So be mindful and be listening to comms. We had a discussion not too long ago, like a couple weeks ago, about listening to comms and like interpreting what that means for you, right? So listen to what your people are saying, especially your supports. If you have no heals, that means you should play like you have no heals. And 2 down, 2 dead, and one of those being our main healer, that kind of screams to me, we're not going to get any heals this fight. We need to just leave. We need to get used to just bailing when the fight is unreasonably not winnable. Especially, I mean, when we have no ults, we're down 2, just leave.
You're coming back.
So we're fighting this, and we didn't have a chance to win it. If we kill their Winston, who cares? They are a dive team that doesn't even have to confront us. They can leave the fight, enter They can leave the fight and re-enter the fight whenever they choose. So we were never in any real position to win this fight. They have complete map control right now, and they're just going to surround us and pick us off slowly. And the real issue is if we would have just left, because when we were down 2, Cart was like here, but now Cart's here. So now if we leave, Cart's going to round this corner. I said we don't want to lose control of blue box. On watch point Gibraltar, you do not want to look at it. You do not want to lose control of this corner. If you lose control of this corner, point A is lost. It's really hard if they control that corner, especially if it's dive. So we cannot lose that corner. So if we had left when we had lost a few picks, we would have been able to group. Because look, these guys are back. We could have recontested. We could have been fighting right now by 6 if we had just left. But now we're staggering ourselves. Our Reinhardt just died, or Diva just got DMX. Reaper might be next because he maybe have to cross into a little sight line. Who knows? I don't know. But right, we already have 3 people that had died. We already have our people that had died early, and our Lucio who escaped smartly. Kitty played really well this scrim. So right, if we had just left, we would already be at 6. That's because our spawn is right next door. But now we keep getting staggered.
Lucio,
We
Lucio.
have
Lucio dead.
0 way
They have a Widow
Orb's
as
coming
well.
to you.
Be careful.
winning this point.
They have a Genji.
Like, we even come back and fight against a Widow with no shield.
I'm pressuring Widow.
Right? And just interpreting what's happening, right? What is their goal of their comp? Map control and really long sight lines due to Widow. In what world do we want to play on high ground when there's a Widow? We don't. Like, we ran up here and decided that we wanted to try and kill Winston when Widow was legit right there. If she was any good, she picks everyone off one by one.
Yeah, there was a couple times where I was trying to pick off that Widow. Like,
Yeah, no, your job is to duel her, which is great.
Yeah.
But it's the decision that the team just ran back to high ground. You know, just not interpreting what's going on.
You're
right
coming
now.
back.
They have like, they have map control, and they have a Widow, and we have no shield. That's a mathematical equation that spells you're screwed.
Lucio,
I'm out of
Lucio.
So we're
Lucio dead. They have a
so this is this is crazy. All right, they're coming up here. If like, well, let's see if they peek. She may just be throwing an orb. She may just be throwing.
Widow
Orb's
as
coming
well.
to you.
Be careful.
Yeah, no. See, now this is silly. Kitty comes back. I get that he's trying to help. Let him die. As a team, like one Reaper can TP, which I think he's doing. He can TP out if he needs to. I always tell the supports, don't put yourself in danger for people who make bad decisions. That's not your job. You let them die. And our team decided they wanted to stay up here and fight. You let them die and just regroup. It's better that you let them die and regroup than to keep healing them and feed all charge and then die anyway.
They have a Genji.
I'm pressuring Widow.
I have to back
Monkeys
out.
on me, monkeys on
I
me.
need healing behind you.
I'm healing.
Thank you.
We're on cart. I'm asleep.
Yeah.
See, now, like, this whole deal would have been just not even had to bother with it if we had just regrouped. We would have been fighting at 6 this whole time.
I got you.
So, we get lucky that you pop off, which is great. Pop off potential is wonderful.
Diva,
Probably
Diva.
saves this fight.
Diva.
He coming back.
Monkey, monkey, monkey.
Monkey dead.
Monkey
Yeah,
dead.
y'all
Diva,
luckily
Diva.
saved this fight. But you see how we had no business saving this fight?
Yeah.
How really
Diva
silly
won?
it was, just looking at the logic, right? They had a free Widow. We had no shield and we kept peeking her. That's silly. We had 2 down at the beginning of the map. The cart was in spawn still, and we had 2 down, and we decided to keep fighting. So we got lucky.
Diva,
Diva,
D-Mac.
Diva Mac.
Talk about next fight.
She want to make.
All right, and that was how long when this fight was on? This fight was won.
He coming back.
Monkey, monkey, monkey.
Monkey dead.
Monkey dead.
Like, this fight's over.
Diva in the
Diva?
back still.
Diva 1. Diva,
Diva
D-Mac.
Diva Mac.
Right? Talk about next fight. that was 10 seconds.
You wanna make
This fight's long over, and we're not talking about the next fight. So that's why it feels, especially against Die, right? They're so quick. They're gonna come on top of us really quick.
Yeah.
We need to be having a plan ready, right?
Yeah.
Talk about next fight.
High ground.
I'll
Um,
have Shatter.
we go high. They will have Genji. They'll have Monkey. They'll be halfway to Diva Bomb. I don't know how much that Anna did, so I have no clue. Lucio is probably gonna have it.
And in times like this, in the scouting phase where you're dueling Widow, ask your diva to come DM you. That's
Okay.
not a problem. That way you can just sit still and take a shot for once, take 1 or 2 shots, because her DM is 2 seconds. So you have 2 seconds of not worrying about dying against the Widow. So yeah, just ask your diva to come DM you.
Okay.
Oh, be at like 70%. Then they're probably gonna have infocytes soon.
They're diving.
Yeah, right here.
They're diving.
That was really bad. I should have dove to my team.
Um, so because when I was thinking the same thing when I first saw it, but now that I'm like analyzing it and looking at it,
Have it. Oh,
it was more of you didn't. Did you know where your team was?
I mean, in a sense, yes, because I saw their outline through the box, but my reaction was diving backwards. That's
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Because the thing, well, so I would say, yeah, you leaving to go to cart was the bad idea. But as far as the team, if we're going to hold high ground, we need to commit to holding high ground. And again, it's another thing of let's help like our Honto has the job. Again, let's help him do it. Diva could be DMing you. Um, but then if we're going to be holding high ground, let's commit to it. Like
be at like 70%.
they're sitting over there, not really doing much. So it's like they gave you away for free kind of deal because they're not offering any resistance to the enemy team anyway.
yeah.
So it's more so yeah, I get you could have jumped to them, but I would have preferred them to have if I mean, if they're going to hold up here, then go back and set up where we were right to start with, and let you know that way they don't just give you a they don't just the dive team has to come through them to get to you. If they jump
Okay.
over you, then you just jump forward into your team kind of deal. Um, Now I think the optimal play is and the reason why I'm like hesitant to say that you're wrong, like because you're positioning like this is loot box, you don't give it up. Play like you, Diva, Lucio could be playing up here, should be playing up here, and the team can be playing down here. So like I like the fact that you had to jump down is what like I think was the right direction to jump. Your team I think should have been down here on cart. Um, I don't like because again, the reason why you don't want to lose blue box is because of the high ground that you're on. Um, and cart is now here, which makes this like dive. So cart is here. All they have to do legit is just walk under here and force us down on cart. Or since they're dive, they can just jump over and get on cart if they want to. So uh, this high ground where we started is no longer a problem. It's no longer an issue. Like it's not viable anymore because of where cart is. You know, we have to realize that they can now take an alternate route to get there without even contesting us. So we're forced to hold here now.
Okay.
So and our team has never heard about this before, but here we are talking about it, realizing that the fact that up here is okay to begin with is because cart is back here and they have to move cart They have to be here. They have to if they want to win the game. That's how you play Overwatch. You have to move the objective. The fact now that they don't have to be there anymore, they have to be here, means that here is useless. The high ground that we started on is useless. We can't stop them from getting to the cart from here. When I mean here, I don't mean where you're at. I mean the high ground that we started on.
Okay.
They're overlapping. So blue box is good because dive can't get here for free. So Diva, Lucio can be sitting up here guarding this place while Ryan, Moira, and Reaper are down here. And Reaper can be up here too, and he can just drop if Reinhardt needs help. So everyone but actually, and Moira can be up there too. And I mean, and realistically, Reinhardt could be too. It's just his thought will be to drop when cards contested. So yeah, all of you can be up here on blue box. So high ground was right. We just chose the wrong high ground. This down here where we started is not good. We could have all been up here on blue box. Is where we should have been. And that way, dive isn't going to jump into that. They're going to find another way, which is fine. They're going, and we want them on card. If we hold up here on blue box, they're forced to then figure out how to get to cart. And the only way to get to cart is underneath, which is where you want dive. That's fine. We want them on the ground. That's cool. Or, then they have to use a movement cooldown to get to up here, and then move another, and then use another movement cooldown to get over, which is fine because now Hanzo can take shots, and Hanzo this whole that whole time. Well, so I mean you can see like if we just hold blue box here, we have card contested and we have high ground. So we said high ground, which was the correct play. We just didn't analyze why, like which high ground we should have taken and why. So we should have held blue box here. Because the blue box high ground where you're at is the important one because you can just drop the cart. And they have to come through you to move cart here. If you're holding up front where we started, now where cart is at, that high ground holds no value because they can just not bother with you. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that's why I was hesitant because like where you're at, because you're in the right spot. You're the only one in the team that's in the right spot right now.
Then they're probably gonna have emphasize.
Yeah, and they just see you alone,
Soon.
and as they should. They just dive.
Diving.
Like they're doing
They're diving our
exactly what they
Hanzo.
should be doing.
Hey guys.
There's a lot of people cut.
Hey, dude, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Monkey.
Monkey.
I'm low.
Try fight.
Monkey's low.
Sorry.
Monkey pop primal.
Diva.
I'm low. I'm on high ground.
I can drop Blossom.
I'm dead.
Oh no.
That was next slide.
No, we're back.
Again, it was how long before we were going to talk about next fight? I had to say something. That fight was long gone. We couldn't start talking about it. And this is where another example of counting, and this like legit no excuse for this. No excuse for this. We know we all just died, and we know some people are still dying. Why are we coming back to contest here?
I got
Monkey.
Thought I was
Monkey nano.
Alright, once they use
Again, if he was looking at kill feed and understanding the situation, counting, that doesn't happen. It's super important to know whether we're losing and winning a fight. Of course, that fight should never have
monkey
happened.
ult, just
Lucio dead.
And here we are staggering in. Now we're playing comp. This is just comp. This is silly.
Genji 1.
We go full.
Monkey diving.
We need to regroup fully.
Alright, I'm backing up.
And with that, alright, like, it's silly, but it happened. So we take advantage of it. What does this mean? We talked about it in the last video that no one watched. What does this mean?
What tempo?
yeah, I was about to ask that.
Yeah. What does it mean about tempo?
Our tempo's gone because we have more people down.
throw an ult to shift tempo?
Not quite. Let's think about it. Let's think about it in the fact that they had someone die last.
Tempo's even right now.
Oh yeah, they're down one of their main tanks. So we could probably push into the next fight like really quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So even though this whole thing was silly, we still managed to get a kill somehow. They aggressed too far. That's what happened. They aggressed too far into our spawn, and they got someone killed for it. Someone got killed for it. So now we leave and can retake really quickly. That's what happens when you get an exit kill. When so when you call the retreat, that's why it's good to have like Hanzo or Widow, because and like Kree, they're people who can get picks as they're retreating, and if you get a pick, that doesn't mean you go back into the fight unless it's now winnable for that reason. If you're down two and you're retreating, and you immediately get a pick, then things change. But if you're retreating for a bit, then you get a pick on your way out and you're almost out, just keep leaving. Because now your people are spawned or very close to all being spawned and you're about to be 6 really soon. They just lost someone. They are 5. They cannot take a 6v5. If they do, they die. So now we can reaggress really quickly. So the kill on Winston was huge because it stops their aggression. It shifts their tempo. And now they can't take this next fight. They can't take the fight when we want to. We can just straight up bring the fight to them right now.
Weeple.
Alright, next fight, next fight.
If you can assassinate the whatever with it, but don't get yourself killed.
Need
Genji
to talk
should have
about
ult
next
by
fight,
now.
lads.
Okay, we're gonna do.
Want to use Dragon to split them up?
Yep.
It's gonna be a tight choke, so.
Nope, not you.
Just look. All right. What are they missing? What is the red team missing? Their big boy, right? The monkey. And that's because he just died. He spawned and traveling. You can see him back here, but he's not here, right? So in maps where the spawns are even farther apart and even in more favor of defense, this is what happens. We could have like imagine if we had maybe had a Widow of our own or we had a Hanzo. He just happened to lose the duel. That's cool. It happens. But let's say just think of the situation as it is logically. Hanzo has free shots on all of these people because no shield, and we have a shield. Just think about it logically like that. So that's however long it takes for him to get back of Hanzo shots into their team right now. Our Hanzo's pretty good. He might get a pick in that time. So then Winston comes back and they're still down one because they decided to attack into us with no shield when we had a sniper, just like we did them 1.A, right? So that's the kind of stuff that can happen. That's why realizing the tempo shifts in the fights.
Dragon.
Widow top left.
And Winston's still not back, right? So imagine if we were able to have our Hanzo here and shoot. Winston is still not back. He's in the back. So that's a lot of Hanzo arrows that's going into people right now. And that's a lot of McCree shots that's going into people. That's a lot of Widow shots that's going into people. So us getting that exit kill is super huge. Would have been super huge. And I mean, it still is, because now they can't aggress as much as they want to.
Diva.
And because we actually get, a free opportunity on Widow,
Yeah.
we just messed it up. I'm not sure where Kolo is lying. It's very interesting. He's kissing the wall.
I'm on the Widow. Just
Genji
waiting.
left side.
How do you miss that doorway? The hell, Kolo?
Genji
I know you're
left.
sick, but dang, you're not blind.
Windows one.
Where?
Where is she?
Yeah. So if Kolo was with you, you guys killed the Widow. So it's unfortunate. You did good to get her down that low. But yeah, don't. I assuming you repeat her here. That's pretty silly. You have shotguns. She's in a distance. She has a sniper. She's going to kill you. So
Yeah.
once she gets away, just leave her. Like the opportunity's lost. Just go back to your team.
She's in a back
Monkey,
line
monkey.
now.
D.Va.
I have bomb.
Yeah, and I paid for that.
Monkey no jump, monkey
Yeah,
no jump,
because
monkey
of
no
my game
jump. On
crashes.
Moira.
Almost dead.
D.Va bomb. I'm slapped.
Not sure how that didn't kill Laverne. I have no idea how that didn't kill Laverne.
Damn.
Down one.
Genji.
We're down our main tank.
Get you.
Div.
I'm purple.
I'm slapped.
I can test it.
This Widow is weird.
D.Va.
D.Va.
D.Va 1.
So yeah. The game crashes soon, so just go to the attack. With
Hanzo.
Top.
alright. So with Moira, things are fairly easy as far as like her positioning. She just plays with the team behind cover. But now we have an Ana. We need to talk about playing for your Ana and playing for your supports in general. And this is a big part on the main tank, or the tanks in general. You need to always have in the back of your mind, where is my Ana? Where is her line of sight? Laverne really doesn't care about, the main tank doesn't really care about where my Ana is, the off tank does, but the main tank should definitely care about where is my Ana's line of sight. So always be thinking, when we have an Ana, what corner do I go around? Do I now lose line of sight of my Ana? Or what shield is in the way now, that will stop me from receiving heals. And it's okay to move past shields, just don't expect heals. So play in a way that I can swing 2 or 3 times, then I need to back the hell up. Or we need to plan to break the shield so we can have line of sight, something like that.
Ryan up front.
Hanzo's so low.
And I say that because it's going to come up real soon.
Hanzo's dead.
Well,
Ryan hacked.
the end of point
I'm discorded.
A. Micro there, volatile.
I'm discorded.
But he has a shield up. He may be discorded, but he has a shield up. And they are backing away from the fight. You didn't need to use nade there. So yeah, we can do our normal thing. We look at our comp. What does our comp like to do? We need to start looking at our comps and knowing how we're going to play them, and what are our win conditions? Are we just damage? Are we utility a bit? What is our win condition here? So what are we looking for with this comp? We have Kree, Sombra.
Yeah, it's pretty much a nano high noon one and EMP bomb another.
Yeah. As far as ults, that's something, but we also, ults are only a part of Overwatch. We need to learn, there's something called the neutral fight, which is the poking phase, right? The scouting, the poking, which is poking / staging, and then combat. You need to learn, like, fights are won in that middle stage, like right now. What we do in this stage is important. And then entering the combat, we need to realize what's supposed to happen entering the combat. Right now, so generally, in the scouting and poking phase, in the scouting phase, which team wins out right now?
We do,
Why is that?
because Sombra.
You win in the fact that you can scout.
I would say, yeah, I would say Widow has the advantage during scouting. She can take an easy pick, and we don't know she's there yet.
Exactly. And in general, like the Widow, the snipers love the scouting phase because no one's fighting, no one's on them, but they can still kill somebody. So yeah, we have we have the ability to better scout, but in the scouting phase where information is gathered, um, we lose because they can kill us and we can't. They can kill us, we can't kill them. So as far as damage, they win the scouting phase. Who wins the poke phase? The phase where we're exchanging shots, but we're not fighting just yet.
Us? We have more damage? Oh no, them, because they have the 2 snipers.
I would say us because Sombra. So just flip your answers. Sombra is a character that can enter. So you missed. Well, no, you saw when I replayed Point A how dive they can engage whenever they want to, and so they entered from our scouting phase into combat phase. Remember that on Point A?
Yeah.
See, we're at 29, 23, so we can like just watch what we could just watch what dive does, right? This is just what dive does.
You got a widow.
Monkey diving.
Monkey,
Go
monkey.
go monkey.
Right? We were we were scouting, scouting, scouting,
Coming out
scouting,
right side,
scouting
right
phase,
side.
scouting phase, scouting
Oh, that
phase, scouting
monkey
phase, scouting
dive.
phase,
You're right, dive.
scouting, scouting, scouting,
Ah.
scouting, scouting.
You got a widow.
They decide. Okay, I shouldn't have said scouting. Like it entered the poke phase when the widow started taking shots, and when our hunter started taking shots. So it's like scouting plus poking. There, it's a muddy phase. But dive, they can just do whatever the heck they want and enter the combat phase whenever they feel like it, right? So that's what they did. They threw us into a combat phase because they saw an opportunity. Does that not sound a lot like Sombra?
Yes.
Right? Um,
Top, 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 top,
Right
top.
up front.
Hanzo's solo. Hanzo's dead.
right. So we, Sombra with her hack and with, really with her hack, she can turn like, she can turn the poking phase into a combat phase because she makes an opening. And so that's really all it is the poking phase becomes combat phase when some triggers have been met. And Sombra is one of those triggers. Zenyatta can also be a trigger. Zarya using bubbles can be a trigger. So all of those things are triggers that turn poking into fighting kind of deal. So I would say we win the poking phase. Who wins the combat phase? If it just comes down to damage, who wins the combat phase?
I mean, we win.
You might be right. It's harder to ascertain that. I think we do just straight up more damage. Maybe not. They do have Discord, but um, so that's kind of a cheap question. Because at that point, it's determined by the poking, right? Did we get a key hack on Reinhardt? If we hack Reinhardt, it doesn't matter what they do, we win because Kree right click is broken, and then on and 8 is broken, and then Sombra is broken. So depends on just who we hack. Like if we hack Ryan, it's gone. If they get a pick in the combat phase, then they win, right? So it just depends. But yeah, but so the importance of asking though, like who wins the combat phase in general, like the reason you want to ask that is because that determines your win condition, right? Who in like what do we need to end like one, or do we care about the poking phase? Is our poking phase just shield break? Because our poking phase, shield break is just poke. You're not fighting ever. You're just shooting Ryan shield until it breaks. Then you're in the combat phase, right? That's our trigger to enter combat phase. And So what is our trigger from poke to combat here? It's right now all we have is Sombra. Like that's our one win condition is Sombra, which is a great win condition. It's fine. But that's all we have to rely on as far as what can snap us really quick into a poke to combat. And that's the risk of double sniper. What they're running, the only trigger that they have is Hanzo or Widow getting a pick. That's why it's a high. That's why it's a greedy comp, but it's a very effective one because a pick is pretty good. It's the best kind of utility you can have. Just kill them. We don't have a just kill them, snap of our fingers trigger like they do. So it's double sniper's high risk, high reward, but we do have a Mexican chick who can completely disable your abilities. So still pretty darn good. So we need to think like that and realize, okay, our trigger is Sombra. I don't need to do anything crazy until Sombra does something. Now we're still poking, we're still breaking shields, making distractions for them because if we just do nothing, then they're just gonna kill Sombra as soon as second she decloaks. So we have to create distractions and make noise and make them feel like they're gonna lose until Sombra makes a clear trigger. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool.
Sort of.
Sort of. All right. What's your question?
So our only win condition here is Sombra.
In the neutral, yes. In the no
Okay.
alts phase, yeah.
Okay.
Kree's not going to get anything done against double shield. And I say it's not the only way you can win a fight. That's not what I'm saying, but it's the only way. It's that only snap of your finger trigger from no ults, poke to combat phase, right? You have to have a way that you just carry about your fights. You shouldn't always like. I love Elk. I don't know if you know who Elk is, but he used to play for Fusion University, played for Philly Fusion for 2 games, and then they dropped him after a while just because they didn't need him. Not because he's bad. He's one of the smartest people in Overwatch, and he would always say you need like the best teams are the ones that plan around winning a fight without using ults. You need to have your neutral game down to a T. That's how you become a dominant team in Overwatch is when you can win without ults. And shield break, Sombra, knowing how to do all that really cleanly will always win you without ults. Because if you do it really cleanly, other teams are going to press a lot of Qs just to stop you. And that just wins you anyway because now next fight you can press Q. So that's how you become a dominant team in Overwatch. So yeah, our only win condition here is Sombra. That's all we have. As far as how do we, when do we call that Lucio speed boost? It's and other than that, you just have to wait for them to mess up. As far as maybe our Kree gets so much shield break that he breaks both their shields. They have messed up, but that's still a win condition. But we don't count on that. Or we're counting on Sombra, right? So that's what we're counting on. And so Laverne should be playing in a way to not to be a distraction, but not to, his win condition isn't to hammer both tanks to death because it's impossible. They have a Reinhardt and Orisa. He can't win that, right? So he shouldn't be playing to win that. He should be playing to get all charge and to, distract them and to mess with them. But he shouldn't be planning on winning that fight. He has Kree, but he and Kree still can't win that because Hanzo's probably there. They have Zenyatta there. So, and then, Diva, like they can't do anything. They don't have a special win condition, that can win them that frontline war. Not in this comp. If they were running Ryan, Diva, Torb, Tracer, or even like Tracer, Genji, okay, that's different because what? They have no front line. Tracer, Genji are out on the flanks. So now Ryan, Diva, Kree can just run over them. So that is a win condition. But against the comp that we're looking at right now, it's not a win condition. So, again, analyzing our comp, analyzing their comp, what can we do? In this comp, Kree's not going to do anything as far as breaking shields. He needs to, if and then that brings what can Kree do then, right? He can just play to break shields because that puts pressure on their tanks. If he, especially Richard Shield, he can what, 2 fans, 3 fans kills the Razor Shield immediately. So it's really quick. Um, and then that's gonna make Arisa feel bad. Like she's gonna have to back up. Then Reinhardt's gonna feel bad when he starts getting his shield low. So he can put pressure, and that allows our Ryan to get swings to build shatter. But and so then that's one way. That's one thing he can do, and then he can also off angle, right, to get just to go around the shield. Don't even have to go through it. Go around the shield. And so that's something he can do. But all of that is just putting pressure. But it's not a it's not a just a flat out. We're waiting on Kree to break shields. We're waiting on Kree to off angle to get something, right? He doesn't have that kind of power against their comp. Against other comps, sure, but this comp he doesn't have that power, and we need to realize that. And that will determine how Nox plays, and that will determine how our main tank plays, and that will determine how our Sombra plays. So, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan hacked. I'm discorded.
Like Nox is flanking, he's putting he's putting a lot of pressure on them. Like they are very uncomfortable because he's up there, and they should be.
I'm with G. Ouch.
They're falling back.
I would probably say Nox forced him by himself to fall back because he was getting around their shields, and it makes them very uncomfortable.
I'm dropping card.
I had a lot of hard time like specking this because
I got discorded again.
Widow's
pipes.
back.
Sun's right side.
So I think
He's
I saw
got
you
the
run behind. Yeah.
Let him.
So you're, again, now that you know, looking at their comp, your opportunity is like, I would say the biggest thing for you is to either assassinate Zen or to hack Ryan, or like your big two, and then to the third, which is always good, build EMP. So those should be kind of the things that you're thinking about.
Okay. So if there's a Zen, then I can definitely go for that Zen.
Hell yeah. That's just a straight up DPS matchup that you like.
Yeah, you'll be able to see it once we get to third point. I was trying to kill that Zen.
Nice. Hey, go for it. Like if he's open, go for it. You can straight up assassinate his
Widow high ground.
Yeah, Widow. Yeah.
I'm dead.
Zens and Anas are my favorite targets as Tracer.
Oh, I hate you then.
Except for your Ana.
Ryan.
Right. Awesome trigger. And he saw it, like he calls it. That's awesome. Right. But that's the trigger. See, what did he immediately have to do? He had to go back. That's death, especially to who else on our team really likes Ryan with no shields?
McCree.
Yeah, McCree, right? That's the go. Like that's the go button. People die when the right targets are hacked. So we need to play, like we should have played in a way where we're just chilling and we're doing things. We're not just standing still, but we're doing things, but we're not playing risky, like not making some really obscene, stupid plays, but just using their resources, off angling, and then waiting on Sombra to do something. Because that's just the type of character Sombra is. That's the type of character Widow, Hanzo are. They're just, you have to depend on them to do things. You have to depend on them to do their job. And yeah, you did your job. You hacked that Rhine. He calls it, and it's not like whether we capitalize on it or not isn't the thing. The thing is, you just made, look at all, like, oh, it's just beautiful. One second. Beautiful. If I was Laverne, I'd ask him, you feel pretty suffocated right now, don't you? And he'd go, yeah, I hated it. I hated my life. I want to quit Overwatch. He's pretty suffocated right now. He can't press W.
But then as soon as I get my hack, then he's able to press it.
Yep. He was standing here.
Ryan.
Oh,
You made that much space for him.
hell yeah.
That is epic. Like, that's how you win fights, And so if our, not blaming because now we're learning, right? So I'm not saying anything. If our Kree had like now that our Kree is hearing this and knowing this, our Kree now would know to drop and start firing into these guys. So that's making the comp work, right? You made all that space. Now next time don't die, but you made so much space.
I think I would have dropped if that widow wasn't up there.
Oh, is she? You're right. Yeah, I can't see her because I see her feet. There she is. Yeah. Um, he should be. So you made all this space from here to here. He should be shielding here for you. That's Kree. You should. And there's something I'm gonna work a combo that we're gonna work into called Shield Flash, where like if you're going up against another Reinhardt, you guys can time a 3-2-1. You run he flashes his shield, like he holds up his shield for you. You run right behind your shield up in front of the other Reinhardt, and you just throw your flashbang, right click him above his shield.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I've been practicing that.
yeah, but like it's the Reinhardt can help you do it by timing it with you and holding his shield up, so you don't have to worry about being shot by anybody while you do it. So but yeah, he should be. So Laverne, when you watch this, shield your Kree. That's especially when there's a widow, shield your Kree. Like that's your Kree is your main damage, and he can't duel a widow generally. So yeah, when this happens, you should shield your Kree. So yeah, just expect him. I would expect you to make this play next time, and then just go for it. And if he doesn't shield you, then that's his fault. But this is like Sombra did her job. She got the hack on Ryan. She won you guys this corner from here to here. She won you guys this corner by hacking the Ryan. So that's the space you need to work with. Like that's what we talk about, making space for your DPS. She made the space for you. Your Ryan took it. Now he needs to guard it, and now we have a window to work. Right now, it sucks because our Sombra died, but also our Sombra would be doing things elsewhere. Like she would also be maybe shooting from behind. Maybe she was able to get the high ground and just shoot, which she does like excellently later. Just stays on high ground and starts pelting people. Like they can't do anything about it. So boom, that. So it's not all on you to like get kills. Your Sombra will be in there doing things as well if she can. So yeah, and then a hacked Rhine shield plus right clicking Orisa shield if it's not already dead. Who else on our team likes no shields?
I
Anna?
mean,
Yeah, right. Anti-nade. Anti-nade is an ultimate on cooldown. It will win the fight. So that's what we're looking for. Those are things we're looking for. Those are the opportunities that our Ana needs to be thinking about. Are both shields down? All right, I'm looking for this nade. Go for it. You run up behind the Reinhardt and you chunk that nade in there on the tanks and they die. Yeah, Kree gets the shot, Stormer gets so all these win conditions. So we have these win conditions, but none of that happens if our Sombra doesn't do her job.
I
Nano, do we want it?
Ryan, one.
Right.
So we are down one, and which means it's still winnable. So I would say this was an okay call to do. Now here's why I said you, Laverne, and anyone, if you're expecting heals,
I'll take it.
you better be in line of sight of your healers. He has walked through a
Risa. Ryan.
Shield's gone. He has walked again through a Orisa shield.
Oh.
Not only is he walking past the Orisa shield, there is a widow. There is a widow and a Hanzo. She does correct in not peeking. I wouldn't peek either. Screw you guys, right? You don't do this nutty play without making sure that your Ana can heal you, and that's hard because they have two snipers. Colo I think is on the widow. Yeah, she's dropping. She's 1 HP, so that's good. But then we have to deal with Hanzo somehow. So it just depends. Like Kitty could be on him, which is dangerous, but Kitty could be on him. Or just the fact that like if you had told Volatile Hanzo's in that left mini, then she could have peeked and jiggle peeked. And like if Cola would have communicated, hey, Widow's almost dead, she's dropping off a high ground, and if we had said Hanzo's in the mini, that can tell Volatile, oh, I'm free to peek now. Maybe Volatile can squeeze some shots in here, right, and save our Ryan. But he dies because he goes too aggro, and we don't give our Ana the information she needs to do her job. So I would not peek either. I think she ends
Thank you.
probably
Hello,
by
sir.
instinct. Yeah,
There's a.
she does. But yeah, I wouldn't have. I mean, she does like eventually,
I'm back.
I'm
but
next.
not because of anything that we did. Like I
Zen's
would,
low. Zen's low on
she
the
shouldn't
right.
have peeked at all,
He's dead.
and she dies for it.
Hanzo.
Crap has
So
win.
that's what I mean by we have to take care of our supports. Did you? Okay. Yeah, if you did, then that's one. So now we need to account for the
No,
Hanzo.
Gotta get out.
I hacked him.
Before we start,
Always tell your supports where the enemy snipers are.
What are they gonna have?
they're gonna
Yeah,
have,
my bad.
Shatter.
Color probably did say he was going on the Widow. So
yep,
that's one.
and then they switched the Widow to a Kree.
So now they have a Kree. Sight lines are even more opened up now because now we have to only one sniper to worry about. Right? So that should tell Volatile something. Okay, so now all I have to do is worry about Hanzo. So now I can peek a little bit more whenever I hear that Hanzo's being taken care of. So you guys need to let her know where Hanzo is at all times so she can start peeking and making those decisions to heal your butts. And now Sombra really likes this because what does this free up for our Sombra?
High ground.
Yeah. Yep, if Hanzo's not up there, Sombra owns his high ground. And Phantom takes it.
They will have
That's where he is right now.
Window.
And they can't do anything
Shadow.
about it. Hanzo has to come try and deal with Sombra, and if he does, he just leaves. It's
Then
like Sombra would just leave,
and
and it's fine.
probably OSO. They won't have Kree. They used Hanzo.
What is this Baptiste shooting for?
Alright. I'll try to
Under the
shatter
hook.
and then Nox if you can high noon.
Yep.
No. We saved Shadow. We saved Shadow for EMP Shadow.
Yeah,
This
dude,
is dry
we're gonna
flight.
assassinate that Baptiste. Yeah, that's
Okay.
your area. Get off of here. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Get the hell out of
Ready?
here.
We'll go.
And so, Phantom, don't ever let this stop you guys from making a play. If you are 10 away from ult and we call a dry push, I'm going. No. You guys flame each other. That's silly. You guys straight up had EMP right here. All you guys have to do is just wait 2 seconds.
Yeah, I said try push and I was like,
Override that garbage. No.
Okay.
Katie did well all night. I'm messing with him right now, but he did really well all night. Shot calling and all tracking, but this was a grievous error. You guys,
I really
yeah.
wanted to do that because I saw all 5 of them
yeah,
right there.
yeah. You know, like legit, especially as DPS. If you guys see an opening, if it's not the call, just take it and just tell the team that you're doing it, so they adjust. Right? So just like. The plan was the EMP shatter next fight. No, we're doing it this way. Just call it. And Laverne, I guarantee you would have shattered. Guaranteed it. So just call it.
Yeah, and he's in perfect.
Yeah.
He's in
This
perfect
is a 6-man shatter right here. Oh, even better. Do you know what happens? You know what this means for you? You may
I can get
not
rid of
know.
window, right?
Yeah. EMP
Yeah.
just gets rid of windows and now they just throw away it all. It's so good right now. Oh. All you have to do is press Q.
Discorded?
And even better. Even better. You got rid of a shield without having to EMP. Just shatter. I saw this. I was like, no. We had it. I was like, oh, it's so juicy, dude. Oh.
LOS that.
Ryan tag.
LOS that. The
Nice
window.
hat.
Like, and they've done it before. He should have, like Laverne Kitty. Ryan's hacked. Speed me in. I'm going to shatter. There is a shield, it's a stationary shield. Just walk past it. Speed me past it, and I'm going to shatter their team. Oh, come on. Oh, so beautiful. Yes, that's what you guys can do. If those hacks ever happen, if Ryan's shield is broken and he goes to hide behind the Orisa shield, just speed past that Joker and shatter everybody. The Orisa shield is stationary. Just walk right past it.
We need to LOS this. That's too much damage.
Immortality if you're down.
Make sure not. We should not use
So
swords.
Okay.
we should not use ults. In what way? Before that happened, we were up one. Why don't we use ults? Right? It's again counting. Okay, now see that happens. So okay, we're even. Why not use ults? All right, we're not down two, so use it. Pop that ult. Here, we're down one. Okay, fair enough. Fight still won. EMP high noon could work. I'm just saying if we wanted to win that fight, but we already saw we had 10,000 opportunities to win that fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, just don't be afraid to override the shot call if you see the opportunity. That's the killer instinct as a DPS. That's something you guys need. You guys have it. You guys are just now that you're in a team environment, you're being more cautious, but you guys can still let your instincts take over, and just if you guys see the opportunity, and like me,
Orisa
Nachi, you
tag,
did a really good
Orisa
job of
tag.
it already.
Hang out.
Orisa.
Yeah.
I need to back up.
And we lose this
We-
fight just
we got them
because
to
we
use
just decided not to press.
Window, and we got them to use Bongo. We got EMP out of that, and
Nah, don't
almost
worry
every
about
other
this.
but
Messing with you
mine.
guys.
They use.
You guys do like those guys are really impressed with you guys. They I talked to the main tank was the contact. And I talked to him for a bit last night. He was really impressed with you guys, and they really want to scrim us again in the future. So
That's good.
yeah, they really
So
like
when
you
it-
guys.
Charger too.
Okay,
Yeah, it's not
thank
done.
you.
Have to go.
So they won't have
gotta
the.
Catch you guys later.
All right, dude, see you, man.
All right,
See ya.
later.
Just as I get here.
I was about to say traded one for the other.
I don't think he likes you, man.
I guess
I would
not.
I would feel some kind of way about that.
Yep, they'll be 50% on.
I'm gonna wait the extra half second to shatter him next time. I'm gonna let him die.
That's right. Yes, you should totally do. I would be okay with it.
And Hanzo 75.
Okay, so
Uh,
right here, you pause it.
Yeah.
There's a Hanzo, a Baptiste, and I think a Kree went up there too. Do I still try to make do with that high ground, or would I have to come a separate way?
No, you can't have that high ground. What can you do though?
I mean, I can try to take out that Hanzo once he's by himself, or I can kill that. Ooh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
not see that Zen on bottom.
Yeah. So, think about it, right? It's just take the second to put the logic. You said you knew that there were three, and then you know where the tanks are. Huh, somebody's missing. Where he be? Hey, go find that Joker, right? So yeah, you could have straight up done that.
And then force them to get back on bottom ground
Mhm.
to help out their tanks.
Yep, you could have, because
Yeah.
100%, if you attack this Zen, one, you're probably going to force trance, which is epic. If you guys are all tracking trance and he's by himself, just shoot him, and he's going to trance. And you guys have forced out trance for free just by using
That'd
M1.
be-
Big value, huge value. So yeah, yeah.
So they will have Shadow
But
and
yeah, there are three up there on high ground. You can't, there's nothing you can do. So yeah, you
Okay.
give up that high, and they're up there because of you, right? So you made such good use of it that you forced them away, and
Xenot.
they left their Zen on the ground.
What we do is we EMP them, and then Shadow, and then we have Bomb just in case.
EMP
Okay,
bomb.
everybody?
Yeah.
No. Yep, what's EMP Bomb, not EMP Shadow, EMP Bomb.
Yeah.
Alright,
Let's go.
EMP bomb.
All right.
Are you ready?
Ready?
3, 2, 1. I totally messed this up.
Nah, it's all good. So it's something to also remember with your EMPs though, like against better teams, the higher we rank up. Do you know what
As
EM?
they,
Go ahead.
as soon as they see bomb go out, they're gonna drop what is it? Immortality quick, right?
They will, but uh, it's kind of whatever because you have EMP and EMP just destroys immortality.
Oh, okay.
But this boy, oh, that happened. Okay. Scuffed. All right. This boy. They will, and it's what he does. He hides, and that's probably why he's back here. He's hiding LOS from your EMP, so he can then transfer EMP.
Okay.
So if you can ever catch him in EMP, you especially want to do that because he can't trans then. And do you also know what EMP does to Zenyatta's?
It gets rid of their shield.
Yep. Yep. So anyone with shields, he gets rid of it. So he's at 50 HP. So you can just turn around and shoot him after you EMP
Okay.
him,
That's
and he
awesome.
dies. Yeah, he's immediately dead. He like I don't even he yeah just physically can't kill you if you're at any kind of distance away from him. So yeah, try and it's Lucio's too. Lucio's will also hide. So if you ever get the chance to catch a Lucio when he has beat, um, EMP it. Or if you guys want to EMP and maybe you guys force out beat somehow, then you definitely want to EMP because EMP again breaks shield, so it cancels Lucio beat after he's dropped it. So those are just juicy opportunities to look for a Sombra.
Okay. Ah, I was late on that.
So yeah, I didn't hear you volatile, but tell your team that you got split, and they don't have heals for X seconds. So just tell them no heals for like 4 seconds. Just give them a number, and that just indicates I can't heal you for a bit.
Risa.
Break that, break that, break
No,
that.
it's no.
Yeah,
I'm done.
your positioning was really good. Your positioning, just stay here. Your cart's not your job. Diva and Kree can both chill on cart if they need to. Diva can go fly away and Kree can have cart, but cart's not your job. Now,
For,
now that for volatile,
oh,
she's
okay.
she was sitting here, and that was perfect. She had line of sight. Remember we talked about in your VOD review, volatile to um, do your job, do the same job from that you would have done from this same dangerous position from a safer position. So the safe position is here, and you still have the same line of sight that you would, uh, you know, all of this. Versus when now you're on cart, but now you're at risk of being shot. So yeah, just trust your team to just and tell them on cart, like don't leave cart, and they will figure out who needs to leave cart. And really, Ryan and Diva can be the ones to leave cart here, and Kree has the distance to shoot these guys where they are now, so Kree can just have cart, and you can just stay safe. But now, this happens. You guys won the fight. Now it's okay to touch card and let them leave, and you can let them chase. This is fine to touch card. Now we're in the fight's over phase, and like at the end of King's Row, point A, Ana stays on card, Lucio goes forward. We're in that phase. We're in the get exit kills phase. We're going to get the stagger kills. So that means the flex support generally gets the card, and the main support Lucio speeds the team in, and they get the cleanup kills.
Arisa low. Arisa dead. Hanzo left side.
Push guard. Make sure to push guard.
Good.
We got both support ults. They used what did they use? They used
Dragon.
Trans and they used Chef and Cleo and Dragon. They used basically every ult they had. They will have 75 halfway on window.
So I know he's talking, and it's just he needs to do this quicker. But assume he finished, and we had a plan. Now we're in the first phase of the fight, right? Scouting. So Nox sees somebody, he needs to say that, and then Sombra, this is definitely your job. You need to be letting the team know what's going on. So it'll just help us prepare for the next fight.
Okay.
So like this is like immediately after the fight, that's Kitty's job. This is his turn to speak because he has the ult track, and then you guys come up with a plan. But then after that, the scouting of whoever we have. Maybe we have a Widow, we have a Tracer, Sombra, all of those can scout, Genji, Pharah. So it's then their turn to speak so we can give information on what what are they doing so we can plan, right? If we don't want to have to know where we're going to how this fight might happen when it
And
happens. We want to know as soon as possible, right? In Diva, she could be saying something.
and
I'm not
a
sure.
fourth of the
Did she just not hear
way
this?
on probably 30%.
What are we doing? Alright. So yeah, that just happened. It's too late. I think that's enough for Gibraltar. I would go back and watch the beginning Laverne whenever you can as well, because we said some good stuff about main tanking, about like a bit of positioning that we thought was going on in that point A. I mean,
Gotcha.
Repeat.
Okay.
Monkey, Pharaoh Mercy, Tracer, Baptiste.
And this was just Nox. Phantom straight up said and spawned that they had a pharmacy, dude. So, not sure what was going on in your head there.
Oh,
Nice.
should have been looking up. Well,
Yeah. So we talked about in the beginning of Gibraltar. Phantom, take it away. What has happened and what could that possibly mean for us that we need to do?
Tempo shifted. We're down 2, so back up and regroup.
Freaking leave, yeah, right? There's no reason to be here. We took 2 picks in the scouting phase of the fight / poking. Just leave. We can't win this. There's no way we win this, so just leave. Alright, I think we
I didn't
feed
account for the
pretty hard.
pharmacy.
Winston on us.
Now we're just feeding. Like they straight up should have aggressed on you guys, and they did. It's 6v4.
I'm low.
Tracer on me.
They can't physically lose this fight.
I'm out of mag.
Bueno.
Alright, so imagine if we had already left. Imagine if we had left. So the first, I assume that's our widow. If we had left, we would have met our widow right here. We'd be at, and Cart is right here. Cart's not even around the corner yet. That was a terrible line. Nowhere near where Cart actually
I can't
is.
see any lines on your screen, so.
Oh yeah, that's in the. You'll see it in the vid. Yeah, that sucks. Oh yeah, 'cause Discord. Yeah, maybe I need to start streaming. Maybe. But yeah, Cart is not even around the corner. Our widow is. You see that blue chick to the right. That's the widow. If we had left, we would have regrouped to our widow right now, and now we would have been able to reaggress. Because our Mercy can fly too, so she'll be back in, give it 3 more seconds, then we could now come back in as a fight, right? But now we're just now dying, so now we have to wait. Laverne was the last to die, so now we have to wait that much longer before we can actually take this fight. So realizing that we had lost the fight, just leave. If we leave properly and quickly, then we can retake sooner. Alright, look at Cart is just now rounding the corner. We could now be in a position to come back in.
Yeah, I was trying to stagger that Baptiste to try to get some charge on him because he was by himself the entire time.
You're fine. You're doing the somber thing. You remember you have twice as many fights as the team. So you have all of this back here to work with, right? They're not going to chase you back to their spawn to find you generally. So you have all that to work with. You rinse and repeat and get your ult charge until the team is ready to come back in. So yeah, you're fine. As long as you don't die, just don't die. Forehead. Dying would be detrimental, but that's the risk you play. But I would rather you be decloaking and getting ult charged than translocating out. Instead of just having downtime and just sitting twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's totally the correct call. What are we doing?
Yeah,
That.
every single time they kept leaving, I was trying to kill that Baptiste. And I think I did once.
You did. You do it just now, in a second.
Good
And
question.
yeah, I had to now remind you guys, what are we doing? Right? We take way too long in figuring out what we want to do. We didn't talk about it the whole time, even though we lost that fight. There was plenty of downtime. We gotta make it happen. We gotta talk about it.
I'm gonna try to stall payload. Baptiste is the only one on it. Y'all try to make y'all.
And so, how could we have done this? Because yeah, pharmacy's a big issue right now, and rightfully so. Um, Pharmacy is like Bastion, loves line of sight. So we take routes that don't have line of sight. Where would that be? Any guesses?
Fire Mercy?
Yeah, like where could we? So pharmacy is annoying us right now, stopping us from coming in. So and pharmacy hates ceilings, they hate indoors, right? Because they need line of sight. So we need to come in through a place that has no line of sight. Where
I
would
mean, we
those
can
be?
go through that small door to the left to go around the billboard.
Yep. Yep, that's cool. Pharmacy can't hurt us inside. So we could just come through here and then attack cart. Because even with our late staggers, cart still has only gotten here. So we have time. We're fine. Like, pay attention to this. We have time. We could just walk there. We could also walk. There's the one underneath here if we really want to do that, you know. And your dive, so we're incredibly mobile. We can also split up. Winston could have come through here. Diva could have come through here. Widow could have come through here, you know, with Diva. Like we could have split up and diverted their attention instead of all coming one way. So somebody will get the cart, and it'll make them have to make a decision. Who are we? Are we attacking the people on cart, or are we attacking the people coming through tunnel? What are we doing? Right? You make it hard for them. And our win condition in this comp is Widow gets a pick, or Sombra gets a key hack. Right? So we have to allow space for our Widow to get in here. Right? So we're not. Uh, so we have to. Our tanks need to come in, make some kind of distraction, so our Widow can get here, because this pharmacy is just going to wreck us, right? So we have to get our Widow in here. So that's how we could have retaken that, instead of just staring at the Widow or the bar like we do here.
That was a bad decision.
Or jumping in and, yeah. So,
We,
right. You don't ever,
Yep.
like we talked really hard about not wanting to engage in movement cooldowns in places that we don't want to be. And yeah, we don't want to engage in movement cooldown. Like if we had just walked through the tunnel, we wouldn't have had to use any cooldowns to actually get to the fight. From a distance, at least. You know, we could have just jumped over a billboard on the cart.
yep, we just dry fight.
I got
Good
Baptiste.
assassination on BAP.
I got their
So now, we're up one.
Everybody's
Payload,
on
payload,
Everybody's
don't
on
let her.
payload.
Don't let her.
Now
We
we're
have to
even.
touch.
Still winnable. But we have to realize what is the goal of our comp. Do we win the scouting phase in this with this comp?
Yes.
Yes, we do. Indeed, we have Sombra and Widow. Widow is the queen of the scouting phase. She rules it. If you have Widow, you can win the scouting phase because one, she can see everything. Two, she's a one-shot hero. Do we win the poke?
No.
Hell no. Pharmacy wins the poke. Which is also what Dive hates. So that's what killed us here. We sit there in that choke to the top right corner and take all that poke from Farah, and then we jump in and she kills us. Farah wins the poke, and so knowing that, we want to, knowing that the poke is their win condition, because they are really strong in poke, we need to alleviate poke, which means take cover, right? So that's how you want to go about systematically thinking, how do we path, what do we do, right? They have Farah, she pokes us to death. Let's not poke. Let's go through a place that has cover. So, that will lead you to making better decisions and figuring out how to retake places. So, Farah, poke, go to place with no poke. If they don't have a Farah, then fine, go through the canyon. What can they do? Right? You can go through that high ground because they can't poke you from there. But they have Farah, they can't poke, so you need to go through a place where they can't poke you.
Right.
Time's up.
And then we have Sombra. You know, we're so uh so we're even right now because we killed their Winston, but they and Bap, but they res Bap, and they killed our Winston. So we're even. No, wait, their Winston's here. We killed somebody, I thought. Who did we kill? We killed their Pharah. So yeah, we killed their Pharah. But we don't win the brawl. We don't win the poke here. We don't. Well, so we say, do we win the combat phase here? Do we win combat? Do we out DPS them?
No.
No, we do not. They have, unfortunately, they have Baptiste, who's pretty high DPS. They have Pharah, who's really high DPS. Winston Divas cancel out, and they have Tracer. We just have Sombra. Tracer does more DPS than Sombra, and they also have Pharah. So we don't have. We're playing a greedy comp. This is extremely greedy. There is no. Our tanks can't do anything. Our tanks will literally die if we take too long. If our Widow and our Sombra don't do something, our tanks will naturally die because they have more DPS than us. Widow, I mean Winston and Diva are just there to stall as long as they can before they die. Unfortunately, that's what this comp does. They will eventually die if the DPS don't do anything. If don't do their job. So yeah, they win the combat phase, they win the DPS phase. So we're in a very bad situation because now we are forced to contest card. So we're forced to DPS them. Alright? So this is a situation we pretty much don't win. It's okay to try, but knowing that, like, they have the DPS and we don't have a Winston, they have tanks. You have, if you want to contest this, you're going in knowing our Diva will die in 2 seconds. Unfortunately, we're hoping our Widow and Sombra carry right now because that's their job. So they have to do something. Like you know, it's unfortunate that our Winston died because we lost our car contest. Honestly, the best decision is just to leave. Honestly, and just set up for point B. It's okay to give up point A and recontest them at the gates. All right, it's 2 feet away. Just leave and recontest them at the gate. It's okay to give up point A. It doesn't matter. Like it feels bad because you hear the da da da, you know, when they you lose the points, but it's really just distance in the end. That's all it is. So it's okay to give up point A and then just recontest them 2 feet later. It's okay. So yeah, that would have been the optimal thing, I believe, is to just leave at this point because again, knowing that our weakness is we can't brawl, we don't win the brawl. So just if we're in a position where we can't win the brawl, just leave. You know, recognizing our comp. We got to see our comp, got to look at our comp, and know that that's not what we do. We are a pick comp. We are high risk, high reward.
Contesting.
Monkey on me.
So yeah, we need to play to that strength. If we would have set up on B, our Widow would have had all of B
Sorry.
to look. What's up, Dick?
Mercy
You
on
got two
payload.
Got Tracer on me.
What up, Baptiste?
Mercy
Baptiste
dead.
one. Break that.
Nana.
I forgot to put down my translocator.
Uh-oh.
3.
See, like it looked like we were gonna win that, but because they out DPS, like you could see it, we just did not have the DPS to kill them, and we don't. If the fight lasts any kind of time on the ground, we lose. Our tanks cannot hold
I'm 96
with
to
this comp.
We back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, back up.
What's up, Lux? How you doing?
We hold second. We hold streets.
All right. So this is where I asked Volatile to start counting. I pointed it out in watch point. On watch point of Gibraltar. But also, there's no fight going on. No one, I don't know why no one on the team saw this. The fight just ended. What are we doing setting up on B? Their dive. What do you think they're going to do?
Oh, so they will have
They got
failed.
Tracer.
They all have. Okay, they have Tracer. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tracer
yes.
behind.
They have Monkey. They have Diva. They have.
I would like you guys to let me know when we have a full fight on B? Just gonna play it through.
They have every ult. Just wait. We just get in the streets and we wait for them to come to us. Nox, be careful for that trace though.
I've almost got primal.
What are we doing?
We're doing we're gonna poke for bomb, and then when we get bomb, we're gonna do bomb. Bomb EMP is our win condition. When we get it, we use it.
Okay. I need to back up before I die.
Yep, we do not use bomb EMP. So they use Tracer. They use both DPS. They use Primal. I don't
Are
know
we
if
swapping
they.
to Ryan on 3?
Yes.
Alright, I'm just gonna use my primal here to stall it then.
This Tracer coming back. Tracer on back line. Do it.
Yeah. My bad.
They have window.
Point B is over. When did we have a full fight at 6 on B?
Not anywhere.
Nope.
We did it. I bet you laugh.
Right. And no one called it. No one ever said, let's just full regroup at 6. Right? You guys gotta be looking at the kill feed and realizing the situation. And all you have to do is turn around and see, oh, everyone's a spawn. I don't need to be here.
Okay.
And then also, stalling cart with your ultimate, with the 1000 HP ultimate, is not worth the 10 seconds that you took off the clock. You just fed their whole team 1000 HP worth of ult charge. It's best to just give it up. If we're swapping comps, just let them have card and give up the primal and just swap. Unless we're going to do something with it on point 3. You know, unless we have a plan to bomb primal or something on point 3, right? But it's not worth stalling for a few seconds when they're, not when it's going to possibly win or lose the game, to feed their team 1000 HP worth of ult charge.
Wait, did they just use bomb?
Yeah.
They did.
Okay, Pog. Elbow Anna.
Got some good
And
assassinations, Phantom. That was huge, because what did that do to them?
That made them back up.
Yeah, what's that called?
Tempo shift.
Yeah, they lost it
So,
all.
This
If I guarantee you, they probably would have kept aggressing.
switching.
we
No, actually, no, they
okay.
swapped.
We
Okay.
use
But if they were saying dive, they would have kept aggressing.
we use bomb EMP.
Right.
And
Right.
so they don't have any DPS ults, no tank ults, and they just have window.
Alright.
Baptiste
It's
and
so No, they don't.
Alright, so we're ready to
there's
EMP.
only 3. Yeah.
Ryan. Ryan walled.
Nice sight, Lance.
2,
Line of sight.
1.
Holy shit, dude.
Oh.
Can't have timed that any
Oh,
better.
nice job. May last. May 1.
Yeah, I honestly thought I missed that EMP, but
It was close, but you couldn't have timed that any better. So let's go to the attack. And so we just kind of staggered all a point, and we would. So let's do Lucio Ana here with Tracer Hanzo. All right, with our comp, who should be scouting?
Nox.
And even an awful scout. But yeah, Nox is primarily the scouter here. So it's okay to just hang back
It would have.
and just chill and let our Tracer get in place.
Where is she?
On top of rock.
Yeah, top rock.
And generally, Nox, you can just go underneath tunnel. It's safer, especially if you're hearing widow shots. Why not just go underneath tunnel and LOS her completely? Like, she's more than likely going to be on high ground. You can just blink from tunnel to gas station and be perfectly safe. Going top tunnel gives her a chance to shoot you.
Use grab.
There's Junk. I have Diva.
Alright, so now we can talk about something called soft diving, which was one of the things we could have done. Kitty's suggestion was absolutely stellar. Um, it was more than likely the right call. If they were smart and understood map geometry, then it wouldn't have been a good call. But this logic was great. I'll go to that in a second. But what we could have done is something called a soft dive, which is you dive into their team, not into the team, but like right in front of their team. You diva, like you wait for Tracer to set up. You guys soft dive, and all you guys doing is just jumping for ult charge, while like Ana or Ilana like is moving card or something. And all you guys are doing is you guys are going in not attempting to kill someone at all. You're just going in there, soft diving, getting ult charge, being a nuisance, and then just getting out. And you guys can rinse and repeat that while you guys try to move cart. Alright, so every time you guys move cart, or every time you guys soft dive, Ana's on cart. Lucio, I mean, really, I don't know, Lucio could be. It just depends. Like, we did it with a Lucio going in. So I don't know, it just depends. But, because then once you guys leave, Lucio can then speed on out. So she's never in any real danger. But yeah, so in all soft diving, against all soft diving is doing is just making them afraid to drop down a cart while we move cart, and then just getting on charge. So you don't have to dive with the intent to kill, and that's called a hard dive when you commit your cooldowns attempting to kill someone. And this is what happens when we don't have the high ground to be able to drop on them. We have to do soft diving like this. Now, why do we want to soft dive besides moving cart? Because it helps us towards the same objective. But why do we really want to soft dive here? What are we trying to do besides move cart?
Knock them off that high ground.
Yeah, get them the hell off the high ground. We don't want them here. This is what we want. We want this as our staging area. Get off. All right. And so if we move cart, eventually they can't hold up here anymore for the same reason that I talked about in Gibraltar. Why that first holding point that we did, we tried to do it again a second time, and why it was not worth it on Gibraltar. Why it was not worth it to go up there the second time. And for the reason was where cart was holding. And so at some point, if we soft dive enough, they're eventually going to have to drop. And that's generally like when cart gets around here, they have to drop. Because now we can just move cart without engaging them. And we will just scoot to point for free. So it would force them to change their position to have to hold cart. And now we have all of high ground to ourselves. We have all of the gas station to ourselves. And that's what we want. And then we can do what we talked about. You wouldn't tank ping pong in this case because you're not trying to hold part. We're trying to kill someone. So now we could just now drop on top of them and assassinate somebody without using a cooldown. Our Ana has gas station to play with, or she can just hold like Canyon up here, right, and he'll die from the top tunnel. Does that make sense?
So let me just ask one question to make sure you guys know where they're going. So your tanks, when they soft dive, where are they jumping to? Like given this current state of like where the enemy are, where would you have your tanks dive to soft dive?
Right, see ya, Phantom.
Probably right where the Rhine is. To get the most cleave. And then you can just drop down.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like one way of saying it. Like where I would do it, like if you just like look a little bit left, like the middle of that like that sign on top of the station. Mm-hmm. Like you go a little bit away from the Rhine so that you can kind of like bubble to make sure they can't really like aggress too much into you. You can like move forward and like dance on the edge of your shield as you're doing that cleave.
Gotcha.
Like a little bit different, but yeah, you've basically the idea.
Yep, and you can do the same. Like when you go in, your diva can dematrix you, and she can then tell you when your matrix is out. When her matrix is out, then you can bubble. So you can just up there just a little bit longer. Just kind of deal. But yeah, so that's the reason for why we will soft dive. So that's what I was hoping you guys would do here. But Kitty made a thing about the Lincolnish suggestion that he says is it fulfills the same thing. But the special thing about Route 66 is we'll see it in a second.
We need to kill that widow.
Is she in the back? Where is she?
Where's Widow?
Is it team?
She's up
Oh, she's
top
at
on
gas
top of
makes
the gas
people laugh.
station.
That's-
Yeah, she's
They're
the
all-
team
they're all
now.
Never a
together.
good thing.
I'm set.
Oh, just take the free push and wait for them.
Yeah. So didn't you know, he didn't express all what he was saying, like what he was thinking, but I totally get what he means, right? Take the free push and they're gonna have to drop, which is true, and that's what they do. Because at some point the defense kind of wants this thing to not reach its destination. Just a little bit. So they eventually have to contest it. But on Route 66, a little caveat, like if you're playing, I mean, if you're playing Reinhardt or Rissa, you can just stand on the edge right here. Not like on the road, but on the edge of the high ground. You can actually stop cart from there, and it won't move. So you don't have to actually touch cart. Same thing on Rialto on the first point A. You can just stand on the edge of the corner of like the second roundabout, well the first roundabout, but on the other side. We'll see it when we actually do Rialto one day. But yeah, you can just stand right here and cart won't move. So if they knew that, then this plan doesn't work and we have to soft dive. But if they don't know it, then yeah, just like you're going, like you guys are doing now, they have to
Ryan's
commit.
dropping.
Widow above.
Ryan half. Ryan.
And look what it did. Look at high ground. Look at gas station.
Mhm.
We don't need to fight this anymore. Our objective is complete. We have our staging area. They can't do anything about it. If they come back up, we just drop down and move cart. So they can't leave cart anymore. So just jump up to the staging area and then, yeah, and then now we just do what we want to do. Just drop down and murder someone, which Ana Lucio in the back there look pretty juicy. Widow is really juicy. If we want to just commit a dive onto her, she's really juicy, right? So many good things can happen right now if we just take gas station.
No.
I'm gonna go towards that Widow.
That's a fat auntie.
Got her.
Mine's dead.
Nox does trade.
Ana in the back, half. Ana dead.
And this is why we need to count the fight in a second. This hurt me right here. This hurts so much. We have a Winston. We have a Winston. We have a Hanzo. We have a Lucio. And we have a Tracer. Against 3 guys with no shield. I was hurt. If we were counting the fight, we would know that we're up right now. And just murder them.
We got
There's a
everyone.
back out.
Alright, we're grouped.
Regroup. Why? Their main tank isn't back yet. He's in the tunnel. He's not back yet. Why? We have 6 people. Right?
They don't have their main tank.
Okay, they have their main tank. Their Ana's not here. Their Ana's still in point B. Let's do this. They have no heals. Let's just kill them.
It's going.
I'm going high.
All right,
Never mind.
Ryan's back.
The Junks.
We just
diving.
push.
Oh, well, now they're 6. Unfortunate.
Take the space.
Junks.
It's okay to move cart. So, let's talk about, like, who should be on cart. We need to be staging. So, Winston should be up here. Tracer can be doing Tracer things. Lucio or Diva can be on the card here. I would prefer the... I think the Diva, because one, she can get to high ground whenever she wants to. I don't want the Lucio because of the lack of, like, it is just harder for him to move vertically than Diva, obviously. So he would have to like get to high ground and get to safety. So he's a bit exposed, especially with that Kree there. So maybe Kree just gets 2 headshots on him while he's trying to escape. So Diva should be on card here. Lucio could be, should be on high ground, chilling with Ana, or I mean he could be doing Lucio things. He could be up here scouting. He could have been over here scouting, telling you guys information. Well, you can't see the drawing. So he could have been like in the canyon scouting, giving you information. He could be hovering above the end of point A. He could be doing Lucio things. But either way, the point is you guys need to be ready and staging for the dive for when they come back in. We're on cart right now, so now we can't use our movement cooldowns to drop on top of them if we wanted to. So that's the issue that we're having with this point AP.
Junks is one. On point.
So we're playing this like we're a brawl comp, right? We get lucky because Phantom gets a pick. Aggressively call targets. You got
Ryan half, Ryan half.
Ryan.
They have no hit.
Ryan,
That's how we
Ryan,
play.
Lucio.
Lucio?
Lucio dead.
Long
We play this like our Ryan Zarya comp right now.
I'm low.
Diva.
Steve, you have.
And yeah, so in between that whole fight, you could be Ana, you could be on either gas station or probably the top left high ground, but you don't need to be on low ground. You need to be up in the air, up on high ground, being able to heal the dive. And actually, I'd probably prefer you just on that top left tunnel right there, instead of gas station. Like, you don't need to be on the staging area. Just know that, again, we talked about map control. Now we own all this back part of the map, so you can be sitting up anywhere up over here. So you should be sitting up on the high ground somewhere, and probably I would prefer the top left here, because gas station is easily contestable. Like, they could at least get someone to come up here and bother you. And you can have line of sight to the gas station by holding that top left place if you need to heal your tanks. So
Diva on top.
I probably didn't need that up.
Diva.
Diva DMAC.
Yeah, no. Go baby.
Okay. So I didn't intend for it to go on this long, so I'm just gonna probably stop there. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Cool. So yeah, think about dive next time when you're soft diving. Like when you're on attack, you have to soft dive to clear the staging, so that's okay. Like dive takes time, so it's okay to go in and use movement cooldowns and not get any kills. You can rinse and repeat and wear out their cooldowns. And then the purpose of soft diving is to move cart. So have someone like Lucio or Ana to be on the cart. And it's okay for Ana not to be the one on cart because she can heal you while you guys are soft diving as well and let you stay in longer. So she could stay on a high ground somewhere and Lucio could be the one on cart and pushing. So that's also an option. It just depends on the map and where you're doing it and how it all goes and whatnot. But your objective is to move cart. Your objective is to get staging, not to move cart. You're moving cart so you can get staging because they eventually do have to contest cart. And then when you're on defense, you already have the high ground, so that part's already done for you. So now you just do the second part, which is just drop on them and find someone to kill. And then on the defense, you do need to do the tank ping ponging.
Yep.
So, cool. All right. Any questions?
Nope.
Cool. Thank you guys for coming. I just did it just to, since we have one tomorrow already scheduled, I wanted to at least get something in that people could look at if they had time. For the people are calling targets and there's someone isolated off to the side. Heck yeah, dude. Yeah. If you see, so target calling is for everyone to know who people are focusing, but 100% if there is someone just straight up open, you go for them 100% of the time. Like on left,
Right.
the mini, the left side, that's white room. I don't know why like OBS decided to drop off.
Oh, white.
Right, yeah.
Right.
I know. I said white.
Yeah, I heard right.
Sorry.
Ryan.
Ryan Orb, they have no personal.
Ryan.
That is loud.
Ryan.
Lucio behind.
Zarya 1.
Couple right. Just play slow. Still slow.
We're even.
Okay, now we can go. We're up one.
Three.
I'll just go in the back
Jump,
reef if you get him.
Jump
Free
one,
orbs.
jump one.
Lucio's.
Alright. So, she was not the target call, but I saw that she was open. So I went for her. I didn't tell anybody. I just did it. Right? And that's when you see someone open and you know you can kill them, then just do it. It's okay. But target call is just for the general purpose of everyone knows who we're attacking right now.
Gotcha.
And it allows everyone to focus. And if this condition isn't met, hey, there's someone I can obviously go get. Then here's who we're all focusing. And so that's the reason why you target call.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if you find someone that's open, then yeah, murder them, murder their face. Well, cool. Thank you guys for coming. I will catch y'all tomorrow. Any questions?